All right. Once again, thank you again for your continuing participation in the program. Um, I must say that it has been um, quite impressive. Your patience and following through with the program is just the kind of motivation we needed. But sometimes it's always good to measure something so that you will know how you are doing and we can improve in time, make adjustments where necessary. So the first thing I wanted to discuss is the metric for the meeting, right? So first of all, I want to, thank the Ebonyi cohort. Ebonyi and Nasarawa seem to have the most engagement, not participation, the most engagement um, so far for the T1 and T2. Ebonyi had already low numbers of applicants, but 9 persons have been attending on the average. For Nasarawa is, sorry, for engagement, FCT Ebonyi has 40% engagement rate, while Nasarawa has 30% engagement rate. For FCT is quite low, or we don't have metric for that. Something went wrong in the metric calculation. In terms of attendance, I want to also thank the Nasarawa State cohort. In T2, you have 44 persons in attendance. That's a huge, huge compliment, and you should be proud of yourselves. We hope that these numbers persist deep into the program, specifically next week when we'll begin the apprenticeship component of things. So just be very proud of yourself. I will share my screen briefly so that I can show you what that looks like on a breakdown, state by state basis. At least we would know where we are getting it right and where we can make some modifications. Now let me begin with this is T3. Let's begin with Nasarawa, obviously. So while that is loading, you would see just in a bit that 44 persons, attended T2. Now, if you recall, I said in our open day that we're going to be auditing the program on an ongoing basis. So participation is good, which is attendance. Engagement is equally important in measuring this. So here you can see a list of, folks that have participated. And you can see the percentage engagement. This is the train, obviously, but we'll have to make these numbers come down so that, people who are at the bottom of the list should contribute in engaging. This is not a training classroom approach. Of course, we've had this in our first couple of classes. You see, we have Kura, Ruth, Timothy, Esla, Edward. They did not contribute at all in that meeting. Emmanuel. The only active contributors were, Oboshi, James Olax, Aloga Helen, Monday Ove Samson, David, and Gift, Adara Mary, Yaro. These are the persons that contributed. I don't know to what extent that contributions were meaningful, but at least it shows that you are engaging the trainer, and you are kind of guiding the conversation to what like tailoring it to what you
Hello, sir.
you require from us. In terms of engagement, generally is very poor. So I will need us to engage more. I will need us to contribute more. I need us to get, ask questions and share. That can help bring out the best value for everyone. Maybe because it's still early. Maybe when we get to the main program, things are going to change. But that's four. Now, if we look at another one, let's say FCT, that had 23%. So for FCT, likewise, you can see the participants. You have Ngofo, Abigail being the highest contributor in that call, in that session. Lot Alkali also very active. Give, Taiwo, Ajay, Abidemi, and Mayam. These are very, and Abraham. But you see, Favor, Abdullah, you didn't see anything on the call. Collins, Deborah, Moshok, Moshokeme, Faith. We have to make this as interactive as a two-way street, okay? So please, we have to build on that. Also, engagement is very poor. This we have to change. Again, we are going to reassess the program on an ongoing basis. For Asarawa, you can see most of the engagement came from Ezia, Usman, and David. We need to improve our engagement in this course. And I think we still have time to figure things a bit more from your side and get everyone active. So having said that, well done, because it's not easy. Well done so far on the participation. So for T3, which is today, we're going to be introducing closer to the practical aspect, the climate, what is climate change, so that we discuss that today, and what is digital agriculture. But the purpose of me asking for this little session is to talk about next week. So next week we're going to begin the apprenticeship proper with poultry farming. Poultry farming using sensors and other digital tools to derive the right kind of results. So when it is fully set up, it's going to look like this. These are all monitoring systems. We're going to do this together. So by Monday, or maybe Monday and Wednesday, we'll spread it into 2 days. We will stream live from the farm, from the demo farm, and you're going to see from how you select these materials, how you quantify what you need. Somebody's going to lead you through that process. And we're going to farm. I mean, we and you are going to farm this farm together for the next 8 weeks, and we'll see the result. We'll compare it with not using these sensors to do poultry farming. We're talking about climate change. As I said, today we'll discuss climate change. Climate change is somehow also contributing to some problems in poultry farming. And how can we combat this? This is what we're going to find out. At the end, you are going to introduce this kind of technologies to your customers. We will show you about that slowly in the coming weeks. We're going to be pulling some poultry farmers into the program, and we're going to put your number out there, of course, with your approval, such that when they contact you, they'll contact you and asking you for solutions around this. And having passed through that 8 weeks, you must have known how you can support poultry farmers to get the most and get paid in the process. So this is what it's going to look like. I will guide you through this this next week. The other one as well is the just a minute. I have someone by my door. Okay, so that's the first one. The second demonstration we will have will be for irrigation farming using drip systems. Now, I understand that many persons may be familiar with irrigation farming, but the solutions that I've seen so far, I mean, the ones that are promoted in the marketplace, require some kind of cost, which I reckon many persons who are currently farming, smallholder farmers, cannot afford. So we'll introduce something that is anybody can do it, very energy efficient, very low budget irrigation system. I'm trying to find an illustration. I think So what you see here is the kind of irrigation system we're going to use for growing, vegetables. And this can be applied to even yam or cassava or maize. As you can see, everything here, there is no equipment. It's just a water storage, some elevation stand, and then the PE pipes, the irrigation tapes that you can now spread through the farm. So using gravity, the water will just naturally flow and irrigate the farm. No equipment required. Any farmer, any smallholder farmer can do this. Now, what we're going to try to do is we're trying to try to demonstrate if this system, when you do it with and without, which result is better. Now, when I say result, if you remember in our opening calls, I said that part of the reasons why farmers are struggling to make ends meet in Nigeria is because we are producing less per hectare or per acre or per plot, whatever you want to put it. We are producing way less than we should. According to the records we have so far from FAO and the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, the national average for maize and most grains includes rice and the rest, is about 1 point something ton per hectare. Can anybody here guess? You can type it in the chat. Can you guess how many tons farmers in the US get for maize on the average? You don't have to say, just put it in the chat if you can guess. There's no right or wrong. I will tell you what that looks like. In Nigeria, the average is around 1 point. Some persons can get 5 tons, but those are very rare cases. In the US, 5 tons is 50, 100 kg bags, just for context. Okay, 9 to 12 tons, yes. Any other? 7 tons, okay. Okay. Let's see if we can get more. Just guess. About 10 tons. Now it's more than all of these suggestions. More than. We're talking about 20, 30, 40 tons per hectare of maize. And how did they achieve this? So we want to try and find out. Maybe for this first experiment, we will not see that level of tonnage, but at least we'll be close and we can see these are the areas where we can improve in order to, yes, we will have that conversation later about what the causative factors are. But as I said, no right or wrong answers. But what has been published so far is that US farmers are producing way more tons of grains per hectare than anywhere in the world. And guess what? This tonnage per hectare means the farmers can make more money. Now, I don't want to sound political, but part of the reasons why farmers are poor is because of this productivity gap. If the US produces so much grains that they can take care of their economy, they will have surplus. And guess what? They will ship it to Africa, to Nigeria as aid, food aid. And when they come as food aid, that food that Nigerians should have bought from farmers, they will get it for free. And you see farmers get poorer. So food aid is good, it's also not good. Point is, we're going to see how this very simple construct can help us grow more food so that our farmers can be a little bit more financially viable and your career can take off. If farmers are not making money, agricultural graduates from agriculture cannot get a job with them. You cannot service them. You cannot make money from them. We have to get them to make not 5 ton. Let's get them 10, 20, 50 ton using simple methods. Now, irrigation is just one aspect of it, right? There's irrigation system. You need to provide adequate water for the soil. That's granted. You also need to provide adequate nutrition to the soil for uptake by plants. Now, if the plants don't have water in the soil, the roots cannot take that nutrient. You see, so even if you put enough nutrient, if there's not enough available water to provide the solution that will transport these nutrients to the roots and eventually produce the bumper harvest that we're looking for, you see, that will not work. You cannot have one and not have the other. We need to have all kinds of factors, and this will demonstrate in the next 2 weeks. Hopefully, we'll start the vegetable farming. Let's start with pepper. Some of the more pricey, more economically important pepper. We'll do that as well. There will be dairy farming as well. Again, details will emerge. Every week we'll provide more details, but from next week, we'll begin the poultry. And from the upper week, we'll begin this irrigation system, this climate smart irrigation system, and we'll learn about all kinds of things. Now, I'm just saying this as a way to let you know that even though the beginning is a bit theoretical, from next week, we're going to have every 2 weeks, we're going to visit our farm and see how we discuss things in real time. And we're going to see how that goes. My expectation is that at the end of it, it will become convincing to everyone that these methods of farming, they are not expensive. If anything, you have to retain the same cost you are spending, but the value addition is going to be so big. This is anticipated value addition. Will be so big that if you ask a person to pay you to show them these things, they will pay you. And this is where your business comes. You become a knowledge worker. You sell knowledge. You sell digital tools to these farmers because you're helping them make way more money than they have ever imagined. These things are possible. We just need the right people, which are yourselves, and the right tools, which we will show you, and the right mindset, which is the topics T1 and T2 you have have taken so far in order to realize this result. And we hope that God will help us, to continue and see this result, and both within and beyond the program. Now, this is not a training session, so we're already 20 minutes in. The announcement has been passed. If you have any question about that, you can leave it as an email, info@ruralfarmershub.com. Somebody will reply you. So now I want you to please go back to the WhatsApp group and join your respective breakout rooms. But just get ready, from next week, we're going to have some serious fun. We're going to mean business as well. And God help us, we will succeed. So thank you for joining this call, and please just go join your session, and let's get to business of the day. Please, this session is done. Can you go back and join the respective state groups? Your trainers are waiting for you. This session is done.
Thank you very much.
I will send a link to the recording in case you missed it. I'll send a link for the recording in the group chat, and you can listen to it at a later time. Now is the main training business. So please leave this call and join the different state links that was provided.